Okay, this is my latest creation, just back from the paint shop. It's basically it's an 83 CX650 cafe racer. Now what it is I put two bikes together. I used the rear section off of a CX650 turbo so that I could get the rear sets, the aluminum swing arm, and the rear disc brakes. I matched that up with the front section off a 1982 GL500 and spliced the two bikes together. That way I can put this Euro gas tank on here. It's a 1983 Euro tank. And the front suspension is off of a 2002 CBR954. And it's installed with the all balls steering head kit. It's a real clean conversion. Everything's installed properly. It's got the big giant brakes on it. It's got brand new EBC HH brake pads, new pads in the rear, calipers rebuilt. Everything on this bike is either new or rebuilt. I built this from the ground up. You can see all the pictures. I got the pictures of the whole process as I built it. It's got the exhaust system off the 1983 Euro. I always wanted a Euro bike, but I've never been able to find one, so I figured I'd build a Euro creation. I'm also running the rear shock absorber off of the 954. And the engine is out of a 1983 GL650. It only had 8,000 miles on it. I was saving this one to build a project with. Came out of a very well taken care of, clean bike that the guy had wrecked. Been sitting for a few years. I went completely through it. Completely resealed it. I cleaned, polished it, rejetted the carburetors. And it runs absolutely like new. I wouldn't be afraid to ride this bike anywhere. Since I put it together, I put 1,500 miles on it and then I tore it down for paint and new tires. What I did was I installed a GPS for a speedometer. And you can see I set it at 0 before I started riding it. I put 1549 on it. So I got any little bugs that I might have had worked out on it. I also built a little mount for my iPhone 5 over here, so I can listen to my iTunes as I'm rolling down the road. And I put in a plug-in for my Bluetooth helmet in case the battery goes dead. Now, a lot of people are building these bikes, and they're building them to look at. They're building them on the 500 platforms, which is not a real big performer. I built this bike to ride. It handles like a late model sport bike. But I used the 650 engines because right out of the box they have 15 more horsepower from the factory. When I get done doing the carburetors and everything on them, I know got them bumped up at least another 5 horsepower. So I had it up to 115 miles an hour and it was still pulling strong. You can ask Dave Burgess at hotwings.com, hotwingsglass.com. He's a friend of mine. I've got some of the accessories I got off of him, turn signals and license plate bracket. He's seen this bike, he's ridden this bike. Also what I did was I put in the rear plastic inner fender from the CX650 turbo. I got it held in with little wire ties, so you can take it out if you'd rather not have the fender on there. It's got two brand new Dunlop ZR radials on it with 0 miles on them. And I don't plan on starting to ride this bike until the fall anyway, so it's going to have 0 miles on it for a while. I'm going to take it over to the side and just cover it up for now. I hurt my left shoulder and I shouldn't be riding anything at the moment anyway. Go ahead and start her up here. That's a very tight engine. Very responsive. Bike is just a lot of fun to ride. It took a lot of hits before I got the paintwork done. It's supposed to be in a showpiece at this point. I'm almost afraid to ride it. I got it looking so good. I also built a full dashboard. It's got instrumentation. I took the indicator off of a CB350. So you got a high beam, turn signal, and neutral light. And I also put in, it's got a oil light. I got to put these things together without oil lights. I think they look crazy. You know, they have oil lights. And I have the tachometer with the temperature gauge. This bike is 100% street legal. Everything works on it. Even the horn. Turn signals. It should pass inspections in any state. Motorcycles, fat tail, tail section, and seat cap. Very comfortable to ride. Anyway, there it is. I'm going to take it right now and put it over in the corner and cover it over for a little bit. Anybody interested in coming and look at it is welcome to. I'm in no hurry to sell this bike. The only reason why I would be selling it is I'm going to be building another one. I've got tons of these bikes. I've been working on these bikes since they were new back in '87. I love them. So anyway, thanks for looking at my video.